What is up, guys? Today I finally return after disappearing for about a week because everything in life just happens at the same time, and I had to unfortunately sacrifice the good flow that I had with streaming to address some stuff that just happened in life. Some of it I was anticipating, some of it I wasn't. But, anyways, what matters is I am back and I will attempt to resume that topic that I had started, in which I went to a little website called Mentelligence.com, and they gave me a list, or this page gives you a list of really good questions to ask. And then, because answering questions is one of my favorite things to do, I thought that I would borrow this and then give my answers to these questions. But last time we hilariously did not get very far because it turned into a food stream and life without internet. And it's nice. I mean, everyone was engaged, but I'm going to try to pick up the pace with this one. And the next question that it starts us off with is most memorable birthday. To be honest with you, this is such a difficult question for me. Hi, art student, because my birthdays tend to be not that remarkable. It's just a matter of, I wake up this day, I acknowledge the fact that I'm a little older, and then the absolute must is going out to eat. But after you're no longer a child anymore, no one really buys you gifts. It's like if they take you out to eat, that is your gift, which I don't mind. But in recent memory, the most memorable one was 2018, because I remember that we went to the neighboring city and we watched a movie. It was Mission Impossible Fallout. And we also had some dinner. And honestly, that was it. And outside of that, when I was a kid, it's not like one of my birthdays we went anywhere like, oh yeah, let's go to Walt Disney, or let's do this and that, let's travel. Like, nothing like that happens. And it doesn't bother me, but if you're looking for a major story, I don't have any when it comes to birthdays. But it's not that my birthdays are bad, they're just not remarkable, that I could classify as remarkable. What would your perfect day be like? Well, my perfect day is usually the day in which I am absolutely peaceful and I don't have to do anything remotely resembling work except going to the gym and work out. But my perfect day would be one in which I get up early as opposed to getting up at noon, when I pretty much, if I get up at noon, then I only have about 5 hours to actually do something with my day. No human gets anything done in 5 hours that is noteworthy and worthwhile, you know? So I just need to get better about that, because I like to refuge in the excuse of, oh, well, I worked to death yesterday and the day before and the day before, so I totally deserve my day off and to be lazy and whatnot. And I'm like, no, because I cannot be someone who lives depending on my work schedule. I have to do things outside of it to make sure that I can build up to have a better future and a better life. But besides getting up early, I ideally have everything that I need at home to make me a nice, healthy, hearty breakfast, as opposed to going out and picking up some junk food breakfast, which nothing wrong with that. I tend to pick the smartest choices among the menu items, but I'm just saying that nothing beats the satisfaction of you actually cooking for yourself, and you can prepare it to your liking, and it's just better for you overall. You're using better ingredients. Then, of course, take an early shower, a shower early in the day as opposed to at nighttime after the gym, because otherwise I will be this filthy animal inhabiting my room. So, just to to pretty much name the pattern that I'm getting at here, I would like to get things done that are mundane and part of every day just get them done earlier and efficiently, as opposed to just doing it out of the obligation of this is what I'm supposed to do. And the reason I say this would be a perfect day for me is because, believe it or not, that's not something that I regularly do. I don't know why I am so terrible about it. I let my exhaustion carry on for weeks and months and years. And I'm thinking, why is it that I sleep but I do not rest? Why is it that I work but I don't have money? Why is it that I am living in this home but I am not enjoying it? I'm not feeling peaceful at it. So my perfect day would be one in which I can indulge in those things, what it's like to be outside of work, not doing anything that resembles work, and actually not feeling guilty about it. On my days off, if I don't try to build up my side gig, I feel this immense guilt of, oh my God, I'm a piece of shit. I do not take my future seriously. I am not serious about trying to own a business, etc. So therefore, I deserve the misery that takes place in my life. No, I'm my own worst enemy. So my perfect day would be one in which I am peaceful and I don't feel like I have to work so hard to, advance very little. When are you happiest? I am at my happiest when everything is headed in the right direction. So, for instance, the simple things in life, such as my car has gas, I'm at an optimal weight, I have the things that I need are at home, such as water, the food that I need, as opposed to, oh, I gotta go out and shop because I don't have these things. So, to me, that adds a little bit of stress. Even though it's easy, it's nothing out of this world complicated, but it still feels like something that keeps me from staying at home and chilling. And I'm usually my happiest when everyone around me is also feeling good with themselves. Because if there's someone who I love and they're struggling with something, I am uber sensitive about that. And although it's not directly my problem, it affects me because it affects them and I care about them. And I know that sometimes the best way to care about someone is to not let those worries that they have worry you as well, like while you're tackling it together. But you just cannot help but let that affect you to some extent. And honestly, my happiest is just when I'm at home chilling and I don't have to worry about anything. Like, oh, there are some bills that are pending, or, Dusty needs this and that. Like everything is just flowing nicely, smoothly, no disruptions. And of course, life will always have something that you need to work on or work with. But I'm just saying that I'm at my happiest when the resources are there to address everything that needs to be addressed, if that makes sense. What is on your bucket list? I'm not one of those people who plans stuff like this, to be honest. But my brother is an avid traveler since he is actually in flying school right now to get his real certifications to be able to fly these things. So I guess I could join him at traveling, even though I am not necessarily someone who's eager to travel. I do not really care for traveling. I'm not that person who's always dreaming of going to, I want to go to Paris, France, or I don't know, I want to go to London, England, or whatever places people like. It's usually Europe. For some reason, the only good place in the world is Europe in people's minds. But I think that definitely stepping out of my comfort zone when it comes to that would be nice, especially if I am going to be with someone who makes it exciting. There is no way that me embarking in a trip with my brother is not going to be exciting. So, since the opportunities are probably going to come when it comes to that, I will definitely take up on some of them. And I guess I'll be telling you guys about it, but it's something that I would like to be eager and excited about, but sincerely, I don't have it in me. But at least I want to have the experience of having gone through the process before I completely cross that out. It's like certain foods. I used to absolutely detest certain things, and I said I will never ever in my life introduce that into my intestines, and now I can eat so much stuff that I never envisioned I would consume. So I'll let you guys know what happens on that one. So outside of that, on my bucket list, there is nothing. My bucket is empty as hell. Do you have any trips coming up? No, I do not. What is something you could teach me about? This is such a difficult question because you never know what people are lacking. What is it that people are not very well versed at? But if you needed help, learning how to break down people psychologically, I can definitely assist with that. It sounds like something very easy and simple, but in the past year, I have learned so much more about people than I thought I knew. And it's simply because I've been doing more stepping back and observing as opposed to being directly involved with people. If that doesn't make sense, eventually I will make a video in which I just ramble away when it comes to this. But yeah, it's I think thinking outside the box when it comes to certain matters is really the key. And it's not always easy to do depending on your relationship to the person. So if it's a colleague, you automatically want to be harsh on them because the quality of your day will depend on how they get their stuff done. If you depend a lot on how good the collaboration is. And if it's someone that, say, you're dating or married to or something like that, then of course it will have an effect on your personal life. And if your personal life is not in good standing, then everything else just kind of collapses. So I think I could teach someone how to not let things get to them in a negative way to where I cannot function anymore because my marriage is in shambles. Something like that. Like, be confident in your self sufficiency. That's what I would say. Your self reliance. I could teach you how to be more reliable on yourself, especially if you're someone who happens to be religiously inclined. I have a lot of examples of that. What is your favorite hobby? Well, my favorite hobbies consist of me driving, having pets. Pets make life so much better. And of course, making videos and also going out and seeing what's trending when it comes to clothes. I never thought I would care about clothes, but ever since I launched my little clothing resale biz, if you want to call it that, it's been nice. I've been noticing what people wear, how they wear it, when they wear it, and I'm starting to understand why for some people it is so important to be put together when it comes to what you wear. It's a form of expression. It's a form of art. I could accept that, but I could not understand it, especially when I was a teen. I was like, why is everybody in here concerned about what kind of shoes they are wearing as opposed to what the teacher is teaching? But now that I've gotten a little older and I have experiences choosing my clothes as opposed to someone shopping for me, and I don't have a say on anything because otherwise all of the clothes that I would have owned up to this point would have been nothing but athletic clothing. Even when I was younger, I just could not deal with anything that wasn't athletic and had lines running down the arms or running down the legs. Something about lines on clothes. I was wild about it. But now I have expanded my collection so much, and I see certain items that I would not have recognized as something I would have worn. And now I can better respect the people who make a living out of that. I cannot say I would aspire to be a model or a fashion designer or anything like that, but at least I am happy that I have turned this into a hobby, and this hobby has the potential of paying me. It has paid me already. So now I just want to keep building up on what my personal taste is, and then see who out there agrees with me when it comes to the stuff that I like is stuff that you like, and you would consume it and you would want to buy from me. So yeah, it's I would have never imagined that, say 10 years ago, had someone told me you're going to be recording your thoughts, you're going to be selling clothes, and you're going to be wishing that you had unlimited mileage in a car, like a car that can run forever and ever without consequences. I would have laughed if someone would have told me that, you know? So it's nice to see how much a person just changes. Uh, let's see, what else? Do you have you ever had any pets? Well, of course I have. During the course of my life, I have had two dogs. One of them, I don't remember the breed, but one of them was a Labrador. And I was completely in love with them. Unfortunately, one of them, I don't remember what happened to him. I think he might have passed, but I would have to confirm with my brother. And the lab was the last pet, major pet, I should say, that we had before we moved out of my hometown. And I'm pretty sure that we gave them to someone my brother knew. And I say them because this was a female lab and she had babies. Unfortunately, most of the babies were born sick. And I only actively remember two surviving. And I think she had either 5 or 6 puppies. Um, Something about them having some kind of parasite or something. I know that the issue was around parasites, and I'm like, really? How are all these puppies just sick? You know? But then when I think about it, this dog was a rescue dog, so anything can happen. And yeah, after that, I said I don't think I would be able to handle another female pet, especially a dog, in my life. So I kind of made it a rule that all of my pets would need to be male. Now, when it comes to cats, I have had about 13 in during the course of my life. And I remember one that was black and white. That was my very, very, very first one. And then, no, I'm sorry. My second cat was black and white. And then my very, very first one was white with like tabby spots. And I called him Nicky, and he got lost during a storm. And I'm like, how do you do that, kitty? You hate water. If you see that the heavens are collapsing on you, why would you want to go out into the rain and try to test your luck? No. But to be fair, he was only like 3, 4 months old. So he was like a little tiny little creature. But I'm like, still, how are you so full of mischief? I never knew what happened to him. I never heard from him. I never saw him again. And that mess haunted me for at least 6 months. I was only like 9 years old or so. And then my brother had a fully black cat. And then I say my brother had because I introduced him to the person who would give him this cat. So in a sense, I feel like that was my cat as well. And then the black and white cat that I mentioned a few moments ago, that was actually the same situation. I introduced my brother to the person who had this cat, and he chose it. And then we brought him home, and that same day he escaped, and we would see him from a distance, but we never got our hands on him again. So that had to be the most random experience in life, because I'm like, how do you bring a cat to keep him home, and all of a sudden the same day it just escapes? It never ever sat well with me. I'm like, do you, you just suck at owning cats, or did we just pick the wrong one? But anyway, and then after that, I remember having a ginger cat. I remember having another black cat at some point. I remember having a fully white cat. I named him Snowy, and he was the sweetest until I got my ginger and white one that I had before Nero. And Nero is the one I had before Dusty, which is my current one. And in between those, there were a few more. I remember a female cat, and she was kind of older already, and she was medium hair. I remember that much. And her color was like black with cobalt kind of color, and maybe some streaks of white. It was like this mix in there. And the other ones, I don't really remember them much because their stay was really brief. But yeah, I have my experience with pets. I have also owned birds. Um, they were canaries of some sort, but I couldn't tell you what breed they are. I just remember mine was the white one, and my brother had the blue one that had gray and black feathers. And at some point, we had a neon green one of those birds that have like a yellow face. But that one, I think one of our cats knocked over the what is it, the little cage, and then the door opened and it just flew away. And then the first couple of birds that we had, the blue and the white one of them died first, and then soon after, the other one died. I think they were called lovebirds or something. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me. If I ever find a picture of them at some point, I will throw it in a video and show you guys that those are the birds that I had. And then at some point, I had a cousin who keeps a bunch of animals since he's a biologist. And way back in the day when iguanas used to be cool, we had a pet iguana. And I was like 4 or 5 years old. And I have a picture of me with this baby iguana, and its tail was almost as tall as I was. But anyway, yeah, I used to think iguanas were cool. And turtles. Oh my god, don't get me started on turtles. I've never personally owned one or raised one, but that was my favorite animal out of my cousin's zoo that he has in his house. What is the best comedy movie that you've ever seen? You know, when it comes to my memory of movies, I'm super bad about it, just as bad as I am at reviewing them. But if I had to say what was the movie that at the time really struck me as a really nice and funny movie, this is probably going to upset some people, but for me, it was Bruce Almighty. Something about that movie seemed so creative because I always wondered, you know, what if you could email God? And then this dude is sitting on a computer and he's apparently saying yes to all of the prayers and requests that people have. And then I thought, what if you could actually do that? What if you could email God? How would that be? So that movie was the closest thing to me exploring the questions I had as a kid as I got. And I just remember it being funny. However, I feel like if I were to see that movie again, now that I'm older, I would think that it's really bad. And possibly even someone out there might tell me this movie is worse than I remember. So I'll let you guys know how I feel about it. But when it comes to comedies, that is the one movie that I can vividly remember enjoying. What is your favorite song and why this particular one? I don't have a favorite song. I have lots of songs that I like and enjoy. Let It Be because the beat is great, the instrumental arrangement is great, but I hate the lyrics. Other ones have really good lyrics along with a nice instrumental accompaniment. But to be honest with you, if a song isn't appealing to me instrumentally, I don't care about the lyrics. So I think I made a video a while back about the songs that I like at the time. And of course, I have been introduced to new music since the time I recorded that. So my list may look a little bit different, but I don't have a favorite song. It's if I hear it, I like it, I enjoy it, I play it, I buy it, and I own it. But I don't grow attached to songs individually. What has been the best concert you have ever attended? The best concert I ever attended was none of them. I have never been to a concert, so I have no answer there. Do you drink coffee or tea? I am a tea drinker. Don't you ever, ever, ever in your sorry ass life attempt to offer me coffee. If you attempt to offer me coffee, we are going to have problems. I don't drink that mud. I don't like that. I hate it. It stinks when you drink it. I must admit that it actually smells really good once you start drowning it with creamer and sugar and all those things that you monsters do who drink coffee. But outside of that, we don't talk about coffee. Don't. And then tea, I enjoy hibiscus tea, peppermint tea, and the green tea. I never ever thought I would ever enjoy green tea. It's not like I love it, like, oh my god, I'm so wild about it. It's like chocolate milk. Ah! But at least I can drink it without feeling disgust. I do not alter my teas in any way. I do not add sugar nor milk like some monsters out there have offered to, like, for me to try. And I'm like, no, do not suggest to me. That's what I meant to say. Suggest to me that I try something with milk. No, I would have figured it out already. But I'm never going to add milk to any of my teas. If I'm going to try it, it's because someone is like, hey Zam, I have this tea prepared and it has milk in it. Would you like to try? And I'm like, I'll consider it. But outside of that, tea is fine the way it is. I need to get my hands on black tea because I feel like that's the one tea that I'm going to have issues with. I'm not sure why, but I will get to it as soon as I am done with two of the boxes that I have in here. I got peppermint and green tea. I want to finish those two before I buy a new tea of any sort. If you were stranded on a desert island and you could have only one item, what would it be? I hate these kinds of questions. But if I had to have only one item, I think it would be some kind of water dispenser because I hate feeling deprived of water. And in a desert, of course, that is the one thing that is going to be your bread and butter. And I just do not like that feeling of dehydration. I do not like feeling dry or not having access to water for long periods of time. But if you're looking for a more practical item or something that is like, oh my god, I cannot live without this, I would probably say my car. But then again, it's not a good item to have in a desert if you don't have roadways. So if you start thinking critically about how you answer this question, it gets messy. But sure, why not? Let's have some kind of music player. A piano. Give me a piano. I'll play music for myself. I don't know why I would be playing a piano under the sun like that, but I don't know. Moving on. Do you believe in luck? This is a very difficult question. And it's difficult if you let it be difficult. For me personally, I don't believe in luck, but what I believe in encompasses luck. To me, when people describe something as you being lucky, to me personally, because of religious reasons, I'm like, my luck is my blessings. I don't believe in luck. I believe in blessings. But I don't want to dismiss the people who describe things, occurrences, as luck. So for me, in my position, I will always describe it as a blessing. But to some people, if I don't know what your religious standing is, I will say, oh, how lucky for you. Or you're very lucky on this particular day. I want to tell them so bad, oh, you're very blessed today. But I don't want to sound like I'm trying to like get on this religious discussion or anything, you know? I'm pretty flexible when it comes to that. Pretty fluid when it comes to that. But for me personally, if you know me well, you would know that I prefer to describe things as me being blessed as opposed to me just being lucky. So I believe in luck. I just call it something different, which is blessings. Do you prefer cats or dogs? I prefer dogs, but cats are easier to maintain. I think I saw a comment. And my phone is not wanting to show me the comments. Great. It's doing that thing where touch doesn't respond to me. So that means that ending this stream is going to be a little tricky. Now I'm going to go on YouTube on my other device and play my own stream so that I can see what the comment was. I hate it when this happens. But anyway, while it loads, I prefer dogs because I feel like they have so much more personality to them. Being a long-time cat owner, of course, I know that cats can be fun. Cats can have their personalities and whatnot. But dogs are just on a completely different level. A whole nother level. Let's see. If you were stranded on a desert island with one other person, who would you prefer? Would you prefer it be a man or a woman? Well, if I were stranded on an island with another person, if I were to choose a woman, it would definitely be my mom because she is so crafty and just handy about things, and she just knows how to make stuff happen. I have no doubt in my mind that we could maintain ourselves afloat when it comes to our survival. And when it comes to a man, I would probably choose my father only because he's been in the military and he's actually done that. He has spent extended periods of time in the wilderness. So I have no doubt in my mind that I am going to have a very comfortable stay and I'm going to be safe and whatnot. And my boyfriend would also probably be someone I would choose because I know that he knows his things and he has his instinct as well. And I'm sure that he could come up with something. And honestly, outside of that, those are my greatest connections. And then as a runner up, I would have my brother because he's also been in the military. And I also know that he would be resourceful to some extent. But my ideal person to be stranded with would be my father, believe it or not. And you know that we don't talk about my daddy like that, but I would be very confident getting lost, being stranded somewhere on a desert island with my father. I just know it. So to answer the question, I would prefer a man. Zambri, have you ever thought to be vegetarian? Hell no. Hell no. I absolutely love to take bites of animals, animal flesh. And it's not like I do not appreciate the people who are vegetarian. It's not like I think lesser of them or anything. It's just that I do not need to be vegetarian in my life because I feel like it's very restricting and I don't like for my diet to stress me out. If I were to take vegetarianism seriously, I would have to redo the way I live my life, and ain't nobody got time for that. So really, the reason I wouldn't be vegetarian is because I'm really close-minded about it. I know it might be a great thing for you, but I just don't see why I need to be doing that, you know? Let me see if my phone is doing better about it. No, no, it's not doing any better about showing me comments. Um, yes, lucky means number to play the lottery, to go left or right, worrying about life. Don't have faith in God, but blessings is faithful to stay in one place, to go right with plan A. All right, let's see. Now I have to wait for this page to load. This is complicated. um, what is the best thing that happened to you during the past week? Why do I have to be filming this on a Monday? But anyways, well, the week that just passed. Well, the best thing that happened to me was that the reason I had to be away was because my father actually visited. And of course, he wasn't visiting for me. He was visiting to help my brother move to flying school. But it was nice to see him. It was nice to ask him about how the family's doing, what's happening in my hometown, and then see that he is 8 years older than the last time I remembered him, and now he wears glasses, and he's still, personality wise, he's still just as I remember him, just a little more I guess mellow, but some stuff about him I still cannot stand. But the stuff he did was actually not in my presence, but I still found out about it because in a sense it still affects me. And I'm like, why? It's 2020 and this man still doesn't get it. But anyway, but it was nice to see him. It was nice to spend that time with him. And it helped me answer questions that I had about myself. Like, would I be able to stand his presence after how miserably he has been failing me? And then I said, yeah, I mean, I don't need to be turning this into a hostile environment. You know, I just cannot do that. Like, hostility, it doesn't take you anywhere. So I just wanted to have this experience, take some time off work to spend time with my family. You guys know that that never happens. When was the last time I spoke about actively doing something with my family? So, yeah, it was definitely the highlight of my week. It's not like my life has changed any by this experience, but I think that it may put me in a better direction. I don't know. Maybe some connections will strengthen. I don't know what to tell you on that one, guys, but I felt happier knowing that it happened, having the experience. It made me feel nice. But it's not like, wow, I am wild about what happened. I'm not. But it was something different. And definitely the highlight. And now I have to once again relaunch YouTube so that I can open up the stream and see what the comments are. And listen to myself speak. Have you ever considered joining the military like your dad and brother? Hell no. When I was in high school, when I was a junior in high school, I kept getting these little flyers at my apartment, delivered to my apartment. I got one for the National Guard. I got one for the Air Force. And they give you this little pamphlet and they make it sound like it's such a nice and great thing. And I'm like, sure, I guess retirement would be taken care of. I guess benefits would be taken care of. Housing even may be taken care of. But I do not want to live my life with certain like restrictions. Like, oh, this is how you gotta treat the uniform. This is how you gotta treat the flag. This is the person that you are serving, like the commander-in-chief. God forbid if I have a commander-in-chief that I hate or that I don't like or that I disapprove of or, you know, something like that. And I said, I do not want to be more of a slave to the government than I already am. So, of course, there's more to the military than that. I'm just really brushing over what are the things that immediately hit me that makes that not be the best career path for me. And I know that the military doesn't mean that everybody is infantry. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to actively be getting shipped somewhere to go to war with people who do not directly do something to you. And, things like that. It's not my thing, it's not my environment. And I know that within the military, there are certain careers that you can do. But my brother was so miserable with his job for 7 years. And I'm thinking, what if I have that luck? Let's say that I don't know if you can take the ASVAB at any time or if it's something that high schoolers do, but you can take this test that kind of tells them where you're at. And everybody, absolutely everybody, always tells me, Zam, you should do something in which you work with computers. You're such a fast typer. You got good design elements. And you can get back to correspondence really efficiently. And I'm like, I hate computers. I hate working with them. I hate my phone. I hate the computer. I hate the laptops. I hate all of that. And you're asking me to get exposed to them to make a living. And I know that it's impossible to avoid computers these days, but I just cannot imagine me having to end up in a job in which that's what I have to do. I'm not that kind of person. I like to have a say over my schedule. I like to have choices. I like to be my own boss. And being in the military, I'm not my own boss. And I also hate how it has a hierarchy. Everything in life has a hierarchy, but it's like you are going to be a sergeant, a staff sergeant, you're a major, you're a commander, you're a general. I do not care about your social status in the military. To me, you are this person. You're still a person. You're not better than me just because you have a few badges. So, my values in life, the way I see life, would definitely get in the way. And I do not want to expose myself to values that are going to change me as a person. I can see how it helped my brother. The disciplines that were imposed onto him definitely have helped him some. But I am not someone who needs that type of thing. I am not someone who needs that stuff. So I just cannot imagine a life in which I have to follow those practices. So, of course, I am not well versed in what life in the military is. I never really was close with my father to ask him, so I don't care. My brother and I never really talked about anything. I never asked him specific questions. I know that the self defense classes will probably be nice, but I do not need to be on a field at like 4 a.m. in a muddy place with really, really, really cold water pouring on you and then get thrown into a gas chamber. I do not need that shit. So I guess I'll stay a weak ass civilian, but I do not want that experience. It's not for me. I don't need to go through that to know that it's not for me. A lot of people say that they are happy with their experiences in the military. Good for you, but I have always known what it is that I want for me in life. The resources of the military can make that happen, maybe in a more secure way. But why would I want to serve for like 10, 20, 30 years to finally get to enjoy those things? I don't know. It's just not my environment. So, no, I do not care for that. Reason why I've asked you that question is because so many people want to be vegetarian. I will pray that you and your father will be closer and closer. Honestly, when it comes to vegetarianism, I think people are trying to jump in the bandwagon of save the planet and this is better for your health and whatnot. I'm not dismissing it. I'm not dismissing that being vegetarian has its perks, but I just don't want to be associated with people who feel like they're better than you because of their dietary choices and trying to be righteous and stuff. I'm not sure. I just know that it doesn't really fit in my plan. And I do not want a life in which I have to give up chicken, I have to give up beef, bison. No, no, no. I just don't like to feel like limitations are imposed in my life. The only thing that I actively avoid is plaque because it is deemed an abomination. It may be tasty, whatever, but it is an abomination. What are some of your long term goals? I hate that question as well because goals are something that evolve so much. But some of my long term goals would be, of course, to have good relationships that are actually noteworthy, good quality in my personal life. Leave more, I guess, live more secure, more stable, as opposed to, oh my God, I am working now, but I am one paycheck or two away from being homeless. More financial stability, pretty much. And it would be very basic. I'm not really that special or outstanding when it comes to my long term goals. I don't really dream of having a house necessarily. I just need the stability of, if I need to pack up and go, I have the resources to do it, and I don't have to deprive myself of leaving a place if I need to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. What did you have for dinner last night? Every Sunday, my boyfriend and I typically go out to get some food, but yesterday we didn't. So my dinner was grain-free tortilla chips that I was experimenting with, and I'm like, they taste very similar to regular corn tortilla chips, but I like these better. And guac, which I never in my life thought I would actively eat avocados, but I had that and also carrots. So I had like a really green diet because I'm like, I need to get my veggies in. I need to lose this weight. I only have until April to get myself in shape before I get like disqualified from this little program that I am in which the state of my physique I need to be fit for, and I am not. And I'm like, I don't want to lose this, privilege, this and that. So I am stressing myself out about it. I think I'm beginning to accept that if I have been trying to lose this weight since last February dash March, and I still haven't put off more than 10 pounds, it's probably not gonna happen by now. But maybe, as a friend of mine phrases it, self-induced anxiety is going to make it better, right? It's probably not. But yeah, I don't want to be that person who thinks like I'm giving up already when the situation is not there yet and I still have time. But again, all I have to do is eat less, eat the good stuff again, like the lean meats and veggies like I used to, and take the gym seriously again, because these days I have gotten so weak. I cannot even handle 20 pounds comfortably. I'm like, why? I used to be this person who I was much smaller than I am now, because now I have all this chub going on. But I was so much stronger. It never ceases to amaze me. So yeah, that was my dinner. Carrots, guac, and tortilla chips. But yeah, I would not have had time to cook anything had I done that, had I gone that route. Um, True, I feel you on that one. Vegetarian is a rough job to do. Zamri, what things did you wish in life? Is it hard to keep your hair looking so beautiful? Just wondering if it's a challenge or easy. Things that I things wait, what things did you wish in life? Well, the things that I wished in life were really basic. It goes back to my past, which my past has nothing to do with my future now. But something that I would have wished is always having had a father figure. But anyway, there's really not a whole lot that I wish for in this life except just being taken care of. If I need something, then I have the resources to take care of it. That's pretty much it. Just self-sufficiency. And then on the note about my hair, well, first of all, I appreciate the compliment. And second of all, it's not really difficult at all. This is 4 days of me not brushing my hair. And it's looking lifeless because I haven't put like anything in it to make it shine, so like it looks really dry and whatnot. I have to cut this much split ends, and I guess I'm just really lucky that the type of curls that I have are the ones that, if you know what to do and how to like massage your scalp, you can make it have volume, and that way it compensates for the lifelessness of it, if that makes sense. Because I never do anything to my hair. I do not pay attention to my hair. The only time I do is when I wash it. And there is nothing worse for curly hair than washing it and not brushing it. And I tend to do that a lot because I just run out of time. So another thing that helps me is that I have let it grow. I've let it grow so much, and when I have it short, it is so easy to see how much I mistreated. So in a sense, me letting it grow was me looking into the future and being like, okay, I am bad about taking care of my hair. So let me let it grow so that there's plenty of volume for it to look nice on a certain region, but then other places will look like a mess. But it's balanced out to where it creates the illusion that my hair is amazing. And you, my friend, have fallen victim to the trap that this is just a show. You know, it may sound like I'm bullshitting you, but I promise you that is what it is. I have studied my hair for so long because I hate it. Like, I'm that one person who used to have a complex of, I need to have straight hair because that's when I look my nicest. And it is a fact that straight hair is what suits me best. But I have learned how to work with the hair that I have to where I do not have to feel like I am condemned to be ugly because of my hair. People find curly hair to be exotic. People tend to find curly hair to be amazing. And of course, I am one of those people who I was born with curly hair, therefore I want straight hair, and people who have straight hair typically want curly hair. But I have met a good number of people who like their curls and people who like to have straight hair. And I have also met these monsters in society who, for some reason, you are born with straight hair and somehow you own a straightener. I will never understand why you need that, but maybe you need it for those humid days. I don't know. But for me personally, it is not difficult for me to maintain my hair because I tend to keep it braided a lot. And if I let it loose, it's because it's giving me a headache. Like, my hair has gotten so long that if I tie it, it actually gives me a headache after about an hour or so. And it's not even a tight kind of tied. It's that weight. It's just pulling down on my scalp. So I think that's what gives me the headache. But yeah, as soon as I loosen my hair, the headache is gone. So that's how I know that the pressure of having it tied is what's giving me the headache. Zambri, what is your favorite dream in sleep? All my life I have cute dreams came true. Blessings, dreams. It is so hard for me to remember my dreams, to be honest. But in more recent years, as of 2017 through 2018, the most frequent dream I had was that I was losing my brakes going down a steep hill. And of course, in the Book of Dreams, that supposedly means that you are really anxious and your life is accelerated and you're losing control and whatnot. And those were the worst years for me. But then I do not remember any recent dreams. And my dreams, I usually tell someone, and after I tell someone, I tend to forget it. But yeah, I don't remember my dreams. I'm so bad about it. But lately I have been sleeping pretty poorly. Like, my neck is absolutely busted from how bad I sleep, and I have 5 pillows now. I'm trying to figure out how to build a good, I guess, back support or something for when I sleep, but it's still messing up my neck and my traps. I just do not know what else to do. But if I have to, I will keep buying pillows until my entire wall is a wall of pillows. But I will figure it out. I've been feeling a whole lot better ever since I've been having more pillows in my life. But yeah, I don't know why in recent months this has become a terrible issue. And of course, there's no way that I can dream about going to see a chiropractor to fix some other issues that I have. So I'm like, well, let me position my body for an average of 5 hours in the most comfortable way possible to see if I can rest and heal myself in my sleep. Hasn't happened. That's cool, Zamri. Your hair is cool. My nieces will love your hair. There's a lot of fanatics of my hair out there, which, to be honest with you, it means a lot because I used to struggle with my self-esteem a lot because of my fucking hair. Maybe one day I will build the courage to share with you guys a picture of me when I was in middle school, 7th grade particularly, and how that picture turned out. And then you guys will understand why curly hair is detestable. What is your favorite meal of the day? Usually lunch, because I tend to be out and I have so many choices. Um, Dinner can be nice as well, but I feel dinner is overrated. Lunch menus tend to be the best, in my opinion, when I go out somewhere. Um, and I think the best deals in lunch happen at lunchtime, either because a lot of people on the weekdays depend on buying lunch, or because not a lot of people go to get lunch. I have never been able to determine what the answer to that question is, but of course, a company will give you a promotion if something is not doing well and they want to boost sales. But sometimes it feels like they do that on the times when it's least likely that you'll take advantage of it. So maybe they just want the right number to make the sales for the day, but not a lot to where they're not profiting as much as they could if they left it at regular pricing. See what I mean? What is the psychology behind that? I haven't been able to determine it. But yeah, my favorite meal of the day tends to be lunch. It's usually light, and when I eat light, I feel really nice. What do you do for a living? Customer service, retail, corporations. What's the most useful thing you own? Definitely my car. If it were not for my reliable transportation, I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't be able to live where I currently live. And have the flexibility of, if I get sick at midnight, I can drive to the nearest FEMA camp and get medicine. Yeah, so definitely my car. I cannot imagine my life being as enjoyable as it is now without my car. It grants you so much freedom. There's a lot of responsibility associated with it, especially in the financial department, but it really makes your life flow better. What is your spirit animal? You know, to be absolutely honest and transparent with you, I hear people talk about, that is my spirit animal, you're my spirit animal, yada yada. But I have never really truly known the definition of a spirit animal. I guess it's the animal that closely matches you, resembles you, you have a tight connection to or something. But I don't know. I have never declared anything my spirit animal. I have declared other humans my spirit animal. So maybe the Homo sapien is my spirit animal. But yeah, I don't know. So you guys tell me, what is your spirit animal and how do you define what a spiritual animal is? What is the first thing you notice about a person? The first thing I notice about a person is how other people behave in the presence of this person. Of course, if you're an absolute stranger, say if I'm at work and you come in and you don't really frequent the store either as a customer, or let's say that you're a job applicant and you have never heard about us before. I cannot really notice that about you. I'm like, let me see how this person makes the room behave, right? But if you're in a close knit group type of deal and you arrive and everyone is like wild about you and all of a sudden a dead party goes lit, I know that you're an amazing person. But sometimes a person may make the group go wild for the wrong reasons, but it would depend on what kind of crowd I am already hanging out with. So that's not entirely true. It really depends. But yeah, usually the aura of the person is the first thing that I notice. Are you a timid person? Are you a confident person? Are you overconfident? Are you humble? Are you more on the side of being humble, as in you know that you could brag about your abilities but you don't? Or maybe you accept that you may be weak at something or have your ignorances, but you very humbly accept someone to like lead the way for you. That type of thing. But physically, usually the first thing I notice in a person is, are you willing to make eye contact? And also, I need to confirm if you have blue eyes, because I have a blue eye bias. But anyway, I remember a time I nearly turned a video 10 minutes longer because I was rambling about how pretty I think blue eyes are. But anyway, this will be the next question I answer, and after that, I gotta bail. What are some challenges you think the next generation will face? Well, the next challenge that the next generation will undoubtedly face is inflation. Unnecessarily expensive things such as healthcare, good quality food, and you getting taxed for stuff that is not food. I'm not sure if this is a federal thing, but at least where I live, the tax on stuff is greater if it's not food. So even medicine gets taxed more. What else? Anything that's not food just gets taxed more. And in some places, I have heard you may actually be, you may try to use food stamps or something on certain products and they're considered medicinal products, so they're actually not covered by food stamps. And the immediate example that I can think of that someone was telling me about was tea. Tea is considered a medicinal product, so therefore it's not considered EBTable. And I'm like, what? But yeah, another challenge that the generation will face is you cannot rely on the planet anymore. You need to figure out if, let's say that you want to plant an apple tree. Is this soil healthy? Has it been contaminated by, I don't know, gasoline spills or all this other stuff that can get on the ground network? And even the animals that you consume. Where did this come from? How was this creature treated? You just cannot trust the resources that are presented to you. And the quality of education, in my personal opinion, seems to be declining. But to be fair, I do not expose myself to the education industry a lot. I did not go to college. I'm not a teacher. I'm not accredited in any way. But based on how I see people manifesting these days, how they behave, the decisions they make, and how they freak out if they lose reception, then the future is pretty bleak. I know of people who, let's say you had really bad weather in your area. Immediately, people get uberly frustrated because they lose power and your phone is dying. Or if you do not lose power, but let's say that one of your towers collapses, you're upset because you don't have reception and you cannot log in to your social networks. It's nice to log into social networks to see what is happening pertaining the emergency, but some people have become too reliable, like too dependable on it. Like, oh my god, if I don't have my Facebook to see what Johnny is saying about how the storm is hitting him, then I don't know, I get frustrated. Or if I do not Google the answers on how to light a candle, then I am screwed in the dark forever. I need to use the flashlight on my phone that is down to 10% battery power. You know, that worries me. People's attention spans are terrible. People's retention is terrible. People are very apathetic these days. Even if you're at work and your work is very easy, like it's an unskilled job, you're not there. You're physically there, but your mind is not there. You do not have common sense. Those are the things that worry me. Why does the future generation need to struggle with people who are zombies? And on top of that, the future generations themselves may be condemned to repeat that pattern of behavior. And for me personally, I find that everywhere that I go to, the good days have just ended. So when I got hired at the place that I work at, immediately people told me, oh, the last good year this place had was a few months ago, last year. And I'm like, why? I just got here. Why did I miss out on the good days of this company? And when I was considering going to college, they had this scholarship for me to be able to teach and have any of my university loans forgiven. The very year that I would have gone out for that scholarship, funding got cut for it. So my dream of absolutely having a full ride to become a teacher was taken from me, because that was the only program that existed at the time that I had a pretty fair shot at, and it gave me exactly what I was looking for, which is fucking walk out of college without being hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So I really hope that future generations do not have to struggle with that. The best things about today by previous generation standards are actually pretty mediocre. So what will the bad days look like for future generations when for a lot of us we have a lot of bad days based on our current state in society, the state of politics, the state of the country, the state of people's health, the state of the environment, the state of the economy. It seems like everything is in the negatives right now. So is this something that is projected to get better within a reasonable amount of time? Which to me, any change that takes longer than 5 years is too long to be like worth it, you know? So where is the next generation going to be at, you know? And the generation that's becoming parents now are becoming parents not really prepared. Can you say that you, being in your early 20s, are prepared for your retirement if you have a child? Do you have your education completed and you have a child? Or maybe do you have a business of some sort that grants you extra money on the side? Or are you completely dependent on the mercy and will of companies? I don't know about you, but to me, relying on someone else to make my schedule and tell me what my availability is terrible. Like, it doesn't take into account that you have your life, your goals, family life, you may have children. Like, no company out there has this dream schedule for you unless you create it for yourself. Because the business needs are the most important thing above anything, because we're the ones who pay you. And you depend on us to have your resources. That's what I'm saying. I hate having to be, what is it? Like, subjugated to that. You know? Like, where is real freedom and real power when you are not the one who's making those decisions for yourself? Someone else is making those decisions for you. And they're saying, if you don't like it, you can leave. No. Why would I want to leave after I have given you so many hours of my life to achieve my current status, which is a little bit of PTO, a little wage that's higher than minimal wage for the state, and maybe if you're lucky, you're full time and your company gives you good benefits. But even benefits are getting cut. You know, I keep hearing all the full timers at my job saying, "Oh, they changed certain things with our insurance. Some stuff is covered, but now some people can no longer go to the doctor that they trusted and liked." So, what's the freedom? How are you winning there when you're depending on another company to determine what is good quality healthcare for you, and being pretty cheap about it too, by cutting back on certain things that they don't need to be cutting back? So that's what worries me. What will the state of these politics be? Will stuff get better, or do we absolutely need to get in, like, in another war or something to make things change for the better? What will these generations be dealing with? That scares me a lot. And I don't know about you guys, but even the weather is not reliable. I'm supposed to be having a full-blown winter. Last week, I had spring weather, 60 degrees in January. And I live in the south, which it's naturally warmer, but it never is this warm around December, January, and now heading toward February. Some countries are on fire. The West Coast is on fire. Some parts of it, I heard at some point. We were not getting product from California because of the weather, because there were some wildfires over there too. Some places that are not known for being cold are cold. Some places that are known for being rainy are dry, and vice versa. So, why are people insisting on building up civilization on the moon and the other planets? I don't know, but I would believe it to be true if someone says, "Oh, they're not telling us about certain special missions that they're conducting on the moon because they're trying to settle out there since we already ruined this planet." If someone told me that, I would believe it. I see the symptoms. But anyway, that definitely could be reserved for another topic in the near future, hopefully. But just so you know, I wish that the next generation didn't have to worry about things like that, because we cannot even trust our leaders. You cannot trust the leaders in your company that you may be employed at. You cannot trust the leaders of your country. So who can you trust? That's what worries me. What are the choices that future generations are going to have? So yeah, you guys, that's pretty much it for me. I hope that my rambling today made sense. And my goal is to catch up with all of these questions and give answers to them. I think it's like 253. So it's a lot, but I will try to break it up and do stuff in between as well. That dream is crazy, and I heard people cannot sleep on their backs will get nightmares. Zambri, what is your favorite day ever in your lifetime? I'm not sure. I haven't had anything really noteworthy happen besides achieving certain milestones that other people consider milestones, like turn 21 so you can drink. I don't drink. Turn 18 so you can be an adult to go, I don't know, what do you need to be 18 for? Anyway, you men need to register for the draft. Were you excited about that? So there's really not a particular day. I haven't gotten married. I haven't had kids yet. So, yeah, there's not really a particular date that I'm like, I will remember this forever. Nothing like that. Zambra, I'm so sorry. I know your message me on Twitter got messed up. I got a new one and do have a Facebook name. Wonderful friend. I don't really do Facebook. I know that my account had been suspended, and I think if you don't access it again after a certain time, it gets deleted permanently. So I need to check. But normally, I don't do Facebook. So I only had Facebook to save pictures, but now I am finding a way to save pictures outside of Facebook because the farther away I am from Facebook, the better. Facebook is the devil. So, yep, yep. Uh, you will be, I guess you mean you will be married. You're a blessed person or something like that. Anyways. All right, guys. Well, I really have to go now. So thank you so much for tuning in and for commenting and asking me your questions. And I will see you soon. Now I am going to try to figure out how to end the stream with the touch issues. So